So, you want to go to film school. Or you're not, and you just thought this video sounded kind of interesting. And if that's the case, well, thank you. Now, whether you've been singing this plan from the rooftops or keeping it on the down low, I'm sure you've heard some of the following comments. Film school? Film school? You're talking to me about film school? You kidding me? Film school? I'm just hoping you can get a job. Yeah, well, you know, Buckarooski, Quentin Tarantino never went to film school neither. Film school is a scam!
Oh, you want to be a filmmaker? Name 5 French New Wave films. You can't do it. This loser probably thinks Marvel movies are real movies. What a loser!
Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I'm sure you've heard things along those lines. Going to film school is a highly scrutinized choice, especially online, where you can find quite a few online programs that market themselves as, for the sake of hyperbole, the alternative to spending gobs of money on film school and acquiring all the knowledge it has to offer. And look at YouTube. You can find hundreds of thousands of videos teaching you everything from editing, VFX, screenwriting, budgeting, production design, and much, 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 much more. So with all of those resources at your fingertips, you might still be wondering, why bother with film school? Well, I'm not going to answer that for you. No one can. The only person who can is you. Because that question, why bother with film school, isn't that simple. There are levels to it, and it is different for everyone. Today, I'm going to be presenting just a couple of questions that I believe all film school hopefuls need to ask themselves before committing to this life-changing decision. All right, let's do it again. Let's give Post a clap. Isn't it great when you have a clap to sync to? Yeah, extra pro tip. Don't make post-production people hate you. They can be a volatile bunch if you don't give them slate and the proper stuff for post. It's not a question, that's more of a comment really, but it's valid. Although every film school and film program is different, I am hoping that my status as a recent film school grad can offer you some clarity and some insight into today's topic. Do you want to be a director, an editor, producer, AD, gaffer? Many of you may have zero clue, and that is totally fine. Being able to identify your passion early on helps immensely. It lets you target the jobs and opportunities that you want to do early and often. So once you've achieved those roles, you can build on those for a longer time than if you realize it way later into your program, however long it may be. However, I can tell you from my experience, many people going into film school can't answer this question. And that is, like I said, that is completely fine. You don't need to be able to answer this question. You just need to have this question in the back of your head from the time that you were considering applying all the way to the time that you graduate, or better yet, the day that you find what you are passionate about. And you know what? I'm going to throw in a sneaky bonus question. Keep an open mind. Be willing to try everything. Give every job a chance. Wrap cable, move furniture, be the welcome committee for the talent, take out the trash, everything, do it all. No one is above anyone else in film school. No producer is too good to wrap cables, and no key grip is too good to help an art assistant move a couch. Your film program might be teaching you how a Hollywood set is supposed to run, but once the rubber hits the road and you're on production, the line between indie production and Hollywood production, those lines really start to blur. And at the end of the day, the movie has to get shot. And if you are willing to do anything you can to help that become a reality, you are going to be remembered. This is a question you absolutely need to be able to answer. That answer might evolve over time, but you need an answer of some kind before you send in that application. If you're going into any program worth the cut of their jib, pun intended, you need to know what your goal is. For example, when I went into my program, I was targeting 2 things, one in post-production and one in directing. For post-production, I wanted to get my AVID certification in Media Composer to broaden the amount of editing jobs I was able to get in the industry. Kind of gives you hope, actually.
If something this broken that it can't even write words on a screen without killing itself can be the industry standard, I tell ya, you can be anything you want to be.
And then in terms of directing, I wanted to direct a final, meaning that I would be leading a crew of people to bring my vision to life, using equipment that I may very well never ever be able to touch for a long time. Both of these answers in tandem for me led back to the thing that I absolutely needed from this experience: connections and networking. Now, before we move on to question number 3, and thanks for sticking around, you've been a really great crowd, there is one possible answer that I do want to address directly. What do you want from the experience?
I want to make movies.
That's a valid answer. And the film school or film program that you go into might give you access to some amazing, fun, incredible toys to play with, but allow me to answer your answer with a question. Why can't you do that now? My analytics tell me that a majority of my viewership comes from mobile. Your phone's got a camera, right? Just create. You can only learn so much from the theory and hypotheticals of filmmaking. Don't worry about making it perfect. Don't even worry about making it good. You just need to make it unique to you. Yeah, and okay, I don't know your situation, so it might be oversimplifying it to say, just do it, just create something. Hey, but let me tell you something. Come here. It doesn't get any easier in film school. If anything, you end up losing a fair bit of creative freedom in film school due to safety guidelines and paperwork and these arbitrary, you can only shoot this for 6 hours today kind of thing. You have so much more creative freedom outside of the film school experience. I made my first movie when I was 10 years old on a crappy little camcorder. And if you look at my YouTube channel, both Monster and Noted were both shot on my phone, while I was at the school where I could have checked out the big, expensive, fun equipment. So my honest answer is, if the reason that you want to go to film school is simply to make movies, pump the brakes and create now. Post it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere. You can shoot a really crappy script in 6K on a Red, sure, but we as humans are starving for great stories and great characters, regardless of what it's shot on. Everyone learns differently. Some people might get a lot out of a 3 to 4 year program where you have more film theory or a balance of hands-on learning to complement that theoretical teaching. The program that I went through was 12 straight months. We hit the ground running and didn't stop until the day of graduation. 3 to 4 years of schooling was jam-packed into that single year. That's the breakneck pace and grueling hours I am accustomed to. The question is certainly less philosophical than the last 2 questions, but it is absolutely worth asking. Not every film school is the same, but setting yourself up for success by getting into a program that fits your strengths serves to benefit you. To the best of your ability and financial situation, don't settle for just any program. Do the research, reach out to an alumni. As we wrap things up, I want to leave you with just one more note. There's this certain level of mysticism around film school, and more specifically, what happens when you finish. As if you get brought back into this secret room and they open up this massive treasure chest, and what's in there but the single piece of knowledge that you need to be the next Scorsese or Spielberg? Well, I graduated. There was no treasure chest. There was no final piece of the puzzle that made everything suddenly click. Did not pass go, did not collect 200. Although, the extra money would have been nice. Film school was a bit pricey. Instead, I left with a year's worth of experiences, connections, and work to put on my reel. What I do with that knowledge and those connections is up to me. It can absolutely be a rewarding experience, but like everything in life, it's not for everyone. Answering these questions will hopefully give you a better idea of what it is you want from film school. And from there, you can make your decision on your future with more of a purposeful intent and less of a half-hearted shrug. There are several more questions I wanted to include in this video, so if you would like a part 2, if you have some of your own questions about film school or my experience, let me know down in the comments. Also, now that I'm back, I currently have an upload schedule of every other Friday at 1 p.m., so make sure you tune in and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And finally, Thank you so much for watching, and for the first time in quite a while, that's a wrap.